Have you ever dreamed so hard that the next day you thought your dream was reality? If yes, what was your dream? I once broke the news to my family that our next-door neighbor had died. A couple of days later I had to explain that I was mistaken and that she is alive and well. Did you tell your neighbor, and if so, how did they react? No, I didn't mention it. The neighbor is elderly, so it would definitely be rude. In the dream my wife told me about it. I was totally convinced until I saw the lights on the next night. When I commented about the lights being on as being odd, my wife was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I said, "You told me yesterday that neighbor passed away. Didn't you?" Of course, my parents were friends with the neighbor, so I had called them earlier in the day to break the bad news. So I got to call and unbreak it and get made fun of for not being able to tell dreams from reality. Oh, that's too bad. As someone who's been mistaken for having died myself, it's always entertaining to see how other people handle the weirdness of such a situation. That sounds awesome, honestly. If someone mistakenly thought I was dead and I was aware of it, I'd probably just send them a text out of the blue saying I lived, bitch. Gosh, I wish, but I didn't have a phone yet. I was homeschooled in 6th grade, and like a year later my best friend said she was going to visit me that weekend, and everyone else at the lunch table was super confused and lost because they all thought I up and died or something. Kids are wild. She was very mad at them for just accepting my death and not confirming it and just being laughing out loud, "Guess she's dead." I'm honestly too amused to be insulted, and my only concern is I did have some bullies and worry they might have been traumatized or something and probably never found out I was alive. Whoopsies. You'd think my half-brother who went to the same school would have corrected them, but nah. He probably started the rumor. I would not be surprised. Laughing out loud. I'm sorry, but I find this funny. No apology needed. I love making people laugh. My mother made that mistake. She read an obit of someone with the same name, wrote a sympathy card, and mentioned it to me. A few months later, she saw the person at church and thought she was going crazy. You're often mistaken for having died? Is there a story behind that, or are you just very elderly? Oh, I misphrased it. It only happened once, as far as I know. TLDR, I wasn't very popular at school, so no one really knew but my best friend I was going to be homeschooled soon, and I think I may have been unintentionally unclear when I said I wouldn't be at the school much longer, and kids being kids assumed the worst. Laughing out loud. Amateur mistake. Next time it happens, you can just kill your neighbor to not seem like a fool. I ran into a guy that I thought had been dead for 10 years recently. I used to work with him as part-time cooks at a steakhouse that was only open on weekends, and we became friends. I quit the restaurant to start my own business and we fell out of touch. Here's where it gets blurry. I can clearly remember a coworker who had worked with us telling me that he had passed away, but I don't know if I dreamed it or the coworker was mistaken. I can't imagine the look on my face when he walked up to me and said hello to me. Then again, he may be a zombie. The one where you get up, sit on the bed for 5 minutes dreading that you have to get up, and then reluctantly get ready and go to whatever you needed to go, only to realize that you actually pressed snooze on your alarm instead of getting up and that you're still sleeping. Getting up twice sucks. I've had that a few times. Worse is when you finish a full day of agonizing work then wake up tired. That's just like every day. I've gotten up, fought my way through terrible traffic to get to work on time, only for my alarm clock to go off and wake me up. I'd like to say that there was a sense of déjà vu during the drive, but there wasn't. It was a different traffic jam I had to drive through after I woke up. That was a rough Monday. I had this recently, but worse. I dreamt I had overslept, and but by a little bit, but by 5 hours. When I got up, my brother was in my house even though he wasn't when I went to bed, and he was just chilling out drinking beer in my living room. Which was made weirded by the fact that the living room was in its pre-decorated form. Then I went to go to my work computer and the house changed to my old house that I grew up in, so I was really disorientated trying to work out where my computer was. It continued to be weird and stressful, but when I woke up and realized it was just a dream, I checked the time and I had actually overslept, but thankfully only 4 minutes past the start of my shift. I dreamed my dog was at my brother's house, being neglected by my brother and harassed by his little kids. I woke up angry, pissed that I was going to have to drive in the rain to get my dog and bring him home. For probably a full minute I just lay in bed, absolutely fuming. Then I remembered that my dog had died almost 10 years ago. It was like being punched in the gut. Not only was I sad about my dog, but I was also really disturbed and disoriented. It felt like my brain had malfunctioned. The feeling of being disconnected from my mind. It was a scary thing. I dreamt one night that our dog who died in a house fire came back. I'm so happy I cried in my dream. Then all of a sudden I wake up but my tears are real and I'm still crying. The fact that she died in such a tragic way broke me. I can't even function. My cat wandered off to die of old age a little over a year ago. I dreamt she hopped up onto my bed for pets so many times. I'm so sorry for your loss, crying face. Sometimes I look at my 3-year-old pup and I think about how much sadness he will bring once he crosses the rainbow bridge. He is my first dog as an adult and we've gone through so much together. All of these comments and stories with pets have me very emotional right now. Make him as comfortable and happy as you can during his life. You will take comfort in knowing you did your best once he is gone. Just do what I do. Before I give my dog a treat, I make him promise to live forever. Problem solved. Oh man. I feel this. Our old cat died of a bad heart attack about this time last year, and a few months after he passed I had a dream that I came home, and it was like I'd been gone out of the country for a while or something, and he greeted me at the door with this wonderfully excited demeanor that he actually had in life when he saw someone he was missing. I knew somehow that he wasn't supposed to be alive and I just broke down crying and held him and pet him. Started crying again when I woke up. It was like his ghost was saying goodbye. Wow, I don't know what to say given that we had the same dreams, man. It's really painful, but in a way it's also comforting. Our pets visited us for a final moment we can hold and see them, even if it's just a dream and in just a brief moment. Their life are so short we couldn't do anything about it, but the good thing, or possibly the best thing we did, is we love them purely and unconditionally when they are still alive. At least maybe we could have some kind of peace and be hurt less. My heart hurts. That rainbow bridge better be real. It better be. I think this is the hardest part of life. When close friends and relatives pass away, but you have dreams as if they never died and are still with you. Then you wake up and have to relive what happened all over again. My dog Copper died in 2019. I've had 2 dreams where he's sleeping with me. My dog died about 2 years ago. He pops up in dreams every now and then and it's always just him showing up for a minute. I like to think it's him checking in on me. Are you kidding me? I leave one post to get away from pet deaths and immediately stumble upon another? My eyes are dried up now. I just had to have my best friend since my earliest memories put down today. I keep hearing her nails on the floor, and so many other noises she would always make. I've gone downstairs just to give her attention multiple times just to realize I can't anymore. This is my first experience with losing a loved one and I don't think I've fully realized she's gone yet. I've had dreams where the places I go feel so familiar. I wake up and wonder if they may actually exist. Keep dreaming about meeting up with different friends and family to hang out, and then we end up shopping in a store. Same specific store, same setup and merchandise. Different dreams throughout the years though. Never been to a store like that in real life though. Same thing for me. I have had multiple dreams, all with different plot lines, so not exactly recurring, at the same shopping mall which doesn't exist. Is it for some reason a very compressed mall that looks like a labyrinth and it's all yellowish with rounded entrances and sometimes hard to go upstairs because the stairs are awfully tall? I know it's really specific, but imagine if someone has actually been on that dream mall too, laughing my butt off. I have dreamt about that place like 5 times, but all on different plot lines too. Dude, that is crazy. Freaking out right now because I've been in a similar, or nearly exact, recurring location in many of my dreams, with almost claustrophobic yellowish rounded entrances like you described. But in my dream location there's a little river under the building and foliage around the walls, and I'm often running around or looking for something in these dreams. It's crazy to hear someone describe such a similar location in their dreams, haha. I have also been to this dream mall. Is it located in some vaguely European city? I know the little river and greenery too. Are the elevators kind of like those tubes at the bank drive-through? I hope you know what I'm talking about. Oh crap, now I want to hear more about that mall. Seems very popular. This is going to be a no-sleep story in the next 24 hours problems. Ever heard of liminal spaces? They are real places that look like things we make up when we dream. Most of our dream places look similar because they are combined memories of things, structures and colors we see every day. That's why they look so familiar and also why so many people have matching descriptions of their dream places because they live in the same environment. This is interesting as F and makes a lot of sense. Most of the settings of my dreams are an amalgamation of my childhood home and a few other choice buildings I've frequented over the years, come to think of it. The same goddamn shop that doesn't exist that seems to have everything you ever wanted, but of course you can't buy it because it's a dream and you wake up before you do and you take forever looking for the thing you want. Me too. Mine has an awesome library specially curated to a very interesting books I never have time to look at. And a small mechanics next door that has a massive field behind it. The mall is a mixture of super sleek and unfinished. It has happened to me too. I have a lot of recurrent places on dreams. One night I had a dream and I was on a school. Other night I went to that school and said, holy crap, the place is actually real. No wait, I dreamt about that place, it is not real, and kept on with my dream. I have been on a shopping mall like 5 times, on a Greek ring with a minotaur like 3, 2 on another mall, 2 on a different version of my street, other 2 on a museum/hospital, etc. I have recurring dream scenery that does not match any real location to. A mall that I can't find the store I'm looking for. A park in my old neighborhood that doesn't exist. A house with a demon living in the basement. Mine is a town. I have dreams set in different spots and buildings in the town. They all have a point in them where I walk outside and say, oh, that's where I am. No wonder everything is weird. I'm sure it doesn't exist. Same. Like I'm convinced I could draw out a map of my little dream world. It's become so consistent lately it's starting to freak me out. Yes. I could have written this myself. The store always has so many wonderful products, but when I get to the stage of actually picking something out, it ends up being not quite right. I move into the next product and the same thing happens, and this continues. Other times I'll fill up a shopping bag of products and be disappointed when I wake up that all the wonderful yet vague products don't actually exist. Sometimes I just get lost in the car park/maze. I'm so glad this thread shows that I'm not the only one with recurring dream settings. I've never had a fully recurring dream, but there are several places I have dreamt of multiple times. The most common one is a fairground with a big wheel and carousel and a bunch of little stalls to play games like ring toss, etc. The layout is always the same, but I've never been anywhere like it IRL. I had a dream that I fell off of a cliff and was heading for solid ground. I had heard that you usually wake up right before you hit the ground, but not me. I hit the ground and everything went black. I remember my eyes were closed shut, and I kept asking myself, am I dead? I woke up in my bed and thought I was a ghost who didn't move on into the afterlife, and that I was stuck in purgatory or something. Needless to say, my mom was weirded out when I asked her if I was dead with a dead serious face. I still remember that years later. Those types of nightmares suck. I had a similar when I was a kid. In the dream I was seated pillion behind my mother on her scooter, when a giant pothole appeared on the road and the impact made me fall on the road with a great impact. My brain made me feel the pain. I could feel the injury where the skin had been torn and the gash on my face. Crap, I hate those nightmares. I have a specially recurring one in which I'm sucked into the vacuum of space. I actually choke and wake up coughing trying to get air in my lungs. This might be kind of dark, but have you considered you might have undiagnosed sleep apnea? Your brain might just be tying a story to the physical sensation of not being able to breathe. Nope, I told my doctor already, not apnea. Unless he did a sleep study where they hook you up to a machine while you sleep in a lab, then he can't definitively say if you have sleep apnea or not. I had to sleep in the hospital for 2 weeks, but the only machine I was connected to at night was this finger thing that monitors your oxygen levels. This is not how a sleeping analysis should be performed. A real sleeping analysis is way more complex than just a basic O2 sensor on your finger. A close friend of mine had sleep apnea, and he had dreams like that. I have dreams like that, but no sleep apnea either. It's like when you get winded really bad and you sort of forget the muscle memory for breathing. I usually just have to take a second or two and calm myself down, and I'm able to breathe again without any issues. Yes. I was studying Rhapsody in Blue at the time, and there's this tricky repeated note passage near the end that I just couldn't get. One night I dreamed that I absolutely nailed it. Next day, I thought it was something that actually happened, went around cocky and not practicing until sometime around noon when I realized that it was a dream and I was an idiot. I just fell in love with that song and now somebody is talking about it on the internet. I'm assuming you play clarinet? My second guess is piano. Ah, piano, yeah. Hey, if you're still working on it, arching your fingers more and keeping them super curved helps a lot because it gives more space for your other ones to hit the notes. Huh, thanks man. That was ages ago though. I got it in the end. How can we be sure it was not another dream? Inception in Blue. These comments are on a effing roll. Temporary lift in my depression laughing. Reminds me of the time I was learning a 20th century piece with all the dissonant chords and stuff and I had a dream where an old man told me that I've been playing it wrong the whole time and it was actually much nicer sounding. I had a dream that I learned to roll my R's. The weird part is when I woke up, I actually could roll my R's. But I fell out of practice within a week or two and now I can't. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.